Take one. At most, take two. If we have to go to take three, we're not doing it.
I believe the day that we have to take a take three, we just stop doing the show.
I agree. Considering this is supposed to be pointless ramblings, and the only reason we've done take one more than one take is because of equipment failures.
Yeah.
And if equipment fails more than one time,
it's not meant to be at that point.
It's time for retirement. I'll take an early retirement, cash out my 401k, live the good life.
And with that, let's ramble. Welcome back to Pointless Ramblings. As we continue Mega Movie Month, which is now what I'm going to call it, Mega Movie Month, Mega Movie Quote Month.
I didn't know that that's what we were calling it.
That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
As we continue with our favorite quotes from the 90s.
The 90s were easier and more difficult than the 80s because realistically, I could have done this entire show not leaving one movie. I could have just used quotes from one movie.
Yeah.
And could have done all of my quotes from just a single movie.
I was going to say the biggest challenge for me was picking movies with different actors in them because I probably could have just gone to the same actor all decade because Adam Sandler basically hit and, fell out of his prime within the 90s. So there's lots of good ones from him. But I use no Adam Sandler quotes. There's Adam Sandler movies, but not a single one from Adam Sandler. And with that, we'll give you my first one.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
And I think that pretty much describes the show.
Yeah.
In one extended, long quote.
Well, the best part is he says, at no point during your incoherent ramblings, which, welcome to Pointless Ramblings.
Maybe that's what we should have talked about. Incoherent ramblings.
All right, what do you got for us?
So, the first one that I went with is probably one of the most common things said in my house.
Why the hell did you take your shoes off?
Why the hell you dressed like a chicken?
Now, really, it's just that first part. Where the hell did you take your shoes off?
It's where, it's why.
Well, why? But it's always followed up with where. And it seems to be that nobody knows where they took their shoes off. They might as well be dressed as a chicken.
It's like, do you always ask them if they're dressed like a chicken after?
That's the appropriate response. And they should learn that when the question is asked where their shoes are at, they should respond with, why are you dressed like a chicken?
Probably. All right, well, I'm moving on to my next one. And it's coming to you from one of my all-time favorite movies. Probably, actually, it is my all-time favorite movie. Tell me, boy.
I think you're going to be okay here. They have a thin candy shell. Surprised you didn't know that.
There's so many great ones from that. So I try to pick one that I use all the time, which is always followed by me insulting my wife, saying, you're the one, or your brain's the one with the shell on it.
Does she say that to you?
No.
Or do you she doesn't say that you're the brain? You're the one.
No, that's my response no matter what she says to me. I just say, your brain is the one with the shell on it.
So kind.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. What do you got for us next?
So, the next one that I have for you comes, not so much the one that I use a lot, but one I wish I could find more occasions to use.
No way. That's great.
We landed on the moon!
I feel like that one works really well with our company logo.
Yeah. The nice thing about that is it's a quote that when you put it in context of the movie, people are like, oh yeah, I know that. But if you were to just say, no way, and then just go like that and just have that response, people would be really confused. But it's something that I really think should be used more often when, like, your boss comes up with a new idea. You should basically be, that's great. and using bits and pieces of that quote.
Don't worry, I was tapping on the mic while you were talking.
I know.
Because I couldn't see the volume would be on our machine over
Hopefully
there.
that's calm.
Well, it's showing here that our sound is still working, so
Well, that's good.
pointless ramblings. My next quote comes from a movie that I learned to enjoy at a later age, probably because of its rating, but enjoy.
Excuse me, I believe you have my stapler.
I personally could just make a clip of just Milton talking throughout, but that would be like a 5-minute clip, so I'm not going to do that one.
You know, the sad thing is how long and how late into my life it was before I actually saw that show.
Wasn't it like 2 months ago?
Yeah, it was a couple months ago. It's finally when you essentially forced me to watch it, but it's good, and so it was worth it.
All right, what do you got for us next?
This is something that I want to ask my wife anytime she says she has a headache.
No.
What's the matter?
I have a headache.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
Every time I have a headache, or anytime somebody says they have a headache, this is what I think of every time. I want to ask them, maybe it's a tumor. And see what the response is.
I just think of Jim Gaffigan whenever he's like, I have a headache. Oh, thank goodness I have a tumor and it's almost over. Or something like that. I can't quote it directly. It's been a while since I've listened to it.
So, I mean, it's a great one. It's not a tumor.
All right. Well, I'm bringing you my second one on my list from an Adam Sandler movie, which is not by Adam Sandler.
My fingers hurt.
What's that?
My fingers hurt.
Oh, well, now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. Anybody else's fingers hurt? I didn't think so.
You know, the best part is Ben Stiller is great at just playing the really mean random guy in shows, because you got Dodgeball, you got Heavyweights, and you got Happy Gilmore. And I'm sure there's many more that aren't coming to mind.
It may be his best type of role. All the roles where he tries to be like the hero lead just aren't as good as the roles when he plays
The villain?
There's certain people that are just better villains than they are heroes.
Hey, Ben Stiller, if you're watching this, I don't know why you would, but if you are, become a villain. You'll be better off. Yeah. All right, what do you got next?
So this is probably the second most quoted thing that I say in my house, and mostly is because where we live, starting in October-ish, sometimes earlier, and ending sometime around May.
Considering it snowed today.
Yes, we have an issue of snow. We've already had our discussion about snow in winter and how to make it better. But this, the first time it snows, or shortly thereafter, it's pretty much I quoted all winter long.
All right, the key elements for a successful sled team are a steady driver and 3 strong runners to push off down the ice. Ice! Ice! And it's kind of a winter sport, You mean winter as in ice, baby? You mean winter as in igloos and Eskimos and penguins and ice?
The sad thing is, I've been quoting that wrong the whole time, so I guess it wasn't the quote. Because I put ice as in penguins and Eskimos and ice. It's actually penguins comes at the end of that. So
yeah, like igloos and Eskimos.
I've learned something. I've made that quoted it wrong the entire time.
Can't believe you do that. My next one comes to my attitude to life.
I can't believe we drove around all day and there's not a single job in this town. There is nothing, nada, zip.
Yeah, unless you want to work 40 hours a week.
This explains, a lot about you and about your skyrocketing through the hierarchy and through business and making it all the way to the top.
Just play your next quote.
Okay.
Would you like to give an explanation before your next quote?
So,
speaking of my business knowledge.
Yes. So this one is a favorite for me to use with both my younger brothers and potentially other people, but really for them, mostly because I did school in 3 years. Real quick.
Did you hear I finally graduated? Yeah, and just a shade under a decade, too. All right.
You know, a lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
I could be a doctor one day. It'll just take more than 7 years.
You could. Because how long have you been going to school?
Let's not bring that up. It's not worth it. All right. Well,
school's not worth it, or not bringing it up isn't worth it. I'm confused.
Neither of them are worth it in the end. So that's it for this week's with the 90s. Tune in next week as we go over the 2000s. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you enjoy our videos, don't forget to show them to your friends, family, or anyone else you can get to watch our videos. Because why not? What else? You got nothing to lose.
Were you questioning friends? You kind of tailed off when you said friends. As in, if everybody watching the video is no friends.
Well, I don't want to assume too much.
Okay.